Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Casper, and today I will be discussing the various styles of communication found within the construction industry. I just want to say sorry right away. I'm a little sick, so my voice isn't the best, but bear with me for the next 5 or so minutes and maybe learn a thing or two about communication in construction. To begin, let's take a look at where I began this project with the research I did to find out the most commonly used styles of communication in construction. I started out by interviewing a few friends who are project managers for Michaels Corporation. This is the same position I will have upon graduating in May. The first person I interviewed was Jacob Meyer. He has 3 years of construction experience and is constantly on the road throughout the Midwest, so he's exposed to many different styles of communication due to being on the job with owners and subcontractors, as well as having to report back to the main office. The second person I interviewed was Nathan Swanke, who also has 3 years of experience, including his 2 internships with Michaels. He gave me his take on what the most used styles of communication in construction, and we will go over this later. I also have experience in the construction industry. I started out my construction career working for my father's roofing and siding company. Here, I was able to see how to effectively communicate with coworkers on the job, as well as go to pre-bid meetings with my dad, where we would talk to the owners of the house and see exactly what they were looking for. I also spent last summer interning with Michaels Corporation, where I kept records of all the material we have received and communicated with the owners with their material was on site. I also contacted subcontractors and attended daily plan of the day meetings, which allowed me to see how important communication in construction truly is. Finish my research. I also conducted a little bit of online research to see what various professionals had to say about communication styles used today. Here we can see my final infographic that I created as part of the final research project. I tried to keep it as simple as possible while still being informative and pleasing to the eye. As you can see, I separated the different styles into 3 sections: verbal communication, written communication, and finally communicating using software programs. Now I will go into each section a little deeper. To start, we'll talk about verbal communication. Verbal communication is a key component to the everyday tasks that are present on a construction site. This includes face-to-face conversations, phone calls, meetings, and presentations. Face-to-face conversations are very common, and according to Nathan, it is the most commonly used form of communication for him. He believes it is easier and faster to get things completed by having a brief conversation. That is, as long as everyone is on site, he says. Phone calls are also commonly used to communicate with field workers, subcontractors, owners, and bosses that might be in the office and not in the field with you. For Jacob, he makes a lot of phone calls and conference calls to get everyone on one line to be able to speak to each other and resolve conflicts that may arise. Meetings and presentations can be between employees within the same company to go over items such as pre-bid or status updates for their projects. Meetings and presentations can also be between clients and the contractors to come together and make sure the job is going along in the way that it should. Next, we're going to talk about written communication. Written communication is also a major form of communication in construction. This can include emails, texts, and even handwritten letters at some times. Emails are probably the most common form of written communication and also the most important, according to Jacob. He stated that emails are important because they provide documentation in case of a lawsuit down the road, or if a dispute were to come up while on the job. They can go back in emails and see who said what. Texts are useful in that they are quick and easy and are perfect for asking simple questions. In the field, we use text messages a lot to update each other on progress and get prepared for our plan of the day meetings every morning. Handwritten letters aren't as common anymore, but they can be useful to thank clients personally and also to leave notes on people's desks if they are not present and the matter at hand isn't that pressing. The final form of communication in construction that I will be talking about is software communication. This includes programs like Bluebeam, SharePoint, Connex, and Excel, and many more. These types of programs allow you to be able to visually show owners what their project will look like. which is one of the suggestions I found online. Speak in layman's terms. So simplify what you were talking about. There's no need to be technical with an owner, and being able to visually show them what their project will look like helps a lot to communicate effectively. These types of programs are also great for document control, such as RFIs and submittals. It allows everyone with access to it to see the same information at one time and be sure that all items are submitted and approved. This concludes my presentation for communication and construction. I hope everyone enjoyed and learned a little bit about the styles of communication and construction. And thanks for bearing with me for the last 5 minutes.